Hello, good afternoon, students. Welcome back to Botany first year's class. So, what we have finished till now are the SAQs from the diversity in the living world. In this chapter, we have finished the identification, and the nomenclature, and the key helpful for the identification. This answer we have finished, and the binomial nomenclature, this was we have finished. And in the biological classification, we have finished the euglenoids, chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, and the daily use of fungi in our life. That was also finished. That means we have finished the completely 2 chapters SAQs are over. Now we will have to start with the other 3 questions that were left out in the plant kingdom. In the plant kingdom also, we have finished the differences between red algae and brown algae, liver rots and mosses, and what is meant by homosporous and the heterosporous condition. Next, this is the somewhat, they won't ask this question, that is the economic importance of algae and the bryophytes, but we cannot take any chance, so we have finished this also. And only the heterosporous, that is the what is meant by heterosporous, explain the heterospory with example. That answer also we have finished. Now we have to start with this question, that is, what is the differences between the monocots and dicots? How would you distinguish between the dicots and the monocots? So here we have to write nearly 7 relevant differences. We cannot wind up with 5. Okay, so in this, what was the first question? What was the first point? What we have to write over here in the dicot plants? So we know what are dicots and what are monocots. Dicot means the plants which can live for long time period when the secondary growth occurs in them. Those are the dicot plants and having the taproot system. Taproot system. So what we will write is the first one is the root system in the plant body. So dicots are having the taproot system. Okay, you can cut short the sentence and you can say it is having taproot system. And in the monocots, the root system is adventitious root system. This much you can write, very cut short points, but relevant points, what we have to write. After the root system, now comes the stem. Stem is having the clear woody-like stem, having highly branched. Okay, that's the one what we have to add up over here. The stem is woody and highly branched. Highly branched. What we have to write over here for the dicots. Whereas in the monocots, stem is not woody and less branched. Okay, sometimes no branches. Example, rice plant. In the rice plant, we won't see that is in the paddy fields. We won't see the stem is highly branched, no, not branched also. Not highly, not at all branched. So that's the one what we have to write over here. Stem. Stem is woody and highly branched. Highly branched. This is the one what we have to say for the dicots. Whereas in the monocots, stem is green, tender, and not branched or less branched. Or less branched. So in this, all the characters of the stem we have mentioned. Okay, next comes the leaves. The next part for the plant body is the leaves. So in the leaves, leaves having the reticulate venation in the dicot plants. In the dicot plants, it is having the reticulate venation. Okay, and in the monocots, leaves have the parallel venation. What is meant by reticulate venation? And the leaf is like this, having the midrib, veins, and the veins are having the veinlets that also branched. So whenever we will see, it looks like a net-like structure now. Mosquito net, if boys, girls, netted chunni, netted dress, like that. So it's a highly branched, that is called as the reticulate venation. Okay, once the example, mango leaf you can see. Okay, and the leaves in the monocots, these are having the parallel venation. So the parallel venation means, example, grass you can take out, otherwise rice, wheat, sugarcane. Because if you say that I have not seen the rice leaf, otherwise the wheat leaf, sugarcane leaf, at least we have seen the picture in the books or in the movies. If not, go with the grass. Grass is the most easily available one, which is having the parallel venation. Like this only grass leaf will be there, na? So the same thing, what we have to recollect and we have to write over here. That's it. So it is having the parallel venation. That's the one what we have to write in the dicot plants. Okay. Now comes the seed. After the leaves, seed comes, because the flowers are there in both the ones, and somewhat big and the somewhat tiny in the dicots and the monocots. That is a small inflorescence, small flowers. So that cannot write as a difference. And next comes the seed. Okay, seed contains two cotyledons in the dicots, whereas in the monocots it is having single cotyledon. Seed is having single cotyledon. So the next one will be the, what I said first of all for the dicot. Secondary growth occurs, na? Secondary growth occurs in dicots. Okay, and secondary growth is absent in monocot plants. Simple, you can write it as not in the stem. The secondary growth absent in the monocots, secondary growth is present in the dicots. Like that only, no need to say that it occurs only in the stem, not in the root. In the root also, here the secondary growth occurs for the dicot plants. But here they have written it only in stem. It's not like that. In the root also secondary growth occurs. So what we have to say, secondary growth occurs in dicots. Secondary growth is absent in monocots. Monocot, no need of a stem. Monocot plants. That's it. Now comes the flowers. Okay. So in the flowers, perianth members are well differentiated. Perianth members means the calyx and corolla. That is the prominent calyx and corolla will be present in the dicot plants. And whereas in the monocot plants, calyx and corolla is not that much differentiated. Example, you can take the lily. Okay. Otherwise, in the Liliaceae family, we read, because this is an improvement, otherwise a supply exam. So we have already seen the Liliaceae family members where the calyx and corolla are undistinguishable. Undistinguishable calyx and corolla, what we'll use the word as perianth. So here what we are saying, in the dicots, flowers are having the clear calyx and corolla. Whereas in the monocots, calyx and corolla are not that much clear. That means they are having the perianth members. Okay, undifferentiated means they cannot be differentiated into the calyx and corolla. That's the one. Otherwise, if you don't know this perianth word, you can say calyx and corolla. sepals and petals are undistinguishable. Okay, sepals and petals are undistinguishable in the monocot, whereas clear sepals and petals can be seen for the flowers in the dicot plants. That much you have to write over here. No, nothing extra. Okay, if you write like this, then you will get much more. That is 4 out of 4. Because why I am saying, I said already in the starting that you have to write the 7 points. So in these 7 points, I have combined the 2 points in the stem only. Okay, what I said in the stem is highly branched and woody stem, I said, na. The same thing, if you make it as the 2 points, stem is woody and stem is green in color in the not woody in the monocots. Stem is highly branched, aerial, erect. Okay, and in the monocots, stem is not highly branched. That means branched or unbranched stem can be seen, and it's not the woody straight. It is a tender. That means it's a weak stem can be seen in the monocots. That's the one what we have said. So 7 points were over now. So if you can split the stem points, then 7 points came. That's more than sufficient. Whatever we have learned, whatever we have seen in general in the outside, whatever we are observing, same points we have mentioned over here. That's sufficient. Okay. So like this, we can wind up this dicot and the monocot differences. So what we have to write in the dicot and the monocot differences? Dicot plants are. So first of all, what we'll say in the dicot plants root system. If you come to from the root system, it is having the taproot system in the dicots, adventitious root system in the monocots. Next comes the stem. Okay, stem is aerial, erect, woody. And in the monocots, stem is aerial, not woody. That is tender, green in color. Okay, and next comes in the stem only. Stem is having the stem shows the secondary growth. They're not the stem only, but in the what we can say the third point, stem is highly branched in the dicot. In the monocot, stem is branched or unbranched stem. Okay, next one, leaves. Leaves are having the reticulate venation in the dicots, whereas it is having the parallel venation in the monocots. And the next comes the secondary growth. Secondary growth is seen in the dicot plants. Secondary growth is completely absent in the monocot. The word is completely absent. Secondary growth is completely absent. What we have to say in the monocots? Remember this. Completely absent. Next comes the seed. Seed contains 2 cotyledons in the dicots. Seed contains only 1 cotyledon in the monocots. Next comes flowers are having the clear calyx and corolla, whereas the monocots does not have the calyx and corolla separate distinction. That means they cannot be separated with their color. That is the calyx and corolla in the monocot. That much you have to write, and we can wind up this answer. Okay, now comes the next one. So what is the next question? See, give a brief account of Prothallus. Give a brief account of Prothallus. Whenever we are saying the Prothallus in the material, they have not given the, in any material, not the one what I have taken and what I am showing to you. Every material, in every material, there is no diagram for the Prothallus. But what I am saying that you need to draw diagram. If you know the diagram, answer will come as it is. If you explain the point parts in the diagram, you can answer the question. No need to learn and mug up the answer. because diagram makes us to learn the things very easier. It makes things the easier manner. So here now I am showing you how to draw the prothallus. Prothallus is the one which is seen in the pteridophytic plants. It is a homosporous. Okay. In the pteris plant, we can see the prothallus. That is the first starting of the plant life from the spores is called as the prothallus. It is a undistinguishable plant body having a leaf-like structure. Okay. And it is the green in color, heart shape. This is prothallus having a apical notch. So it is not completely closed. If you draw the leaf, how we will draw a leaf? Same thing. Just it is having a petiole and leaf. Same thing I have also drawn now, but here I have drawn it somewhat bigger. That is the apical notch will be present, that much. But it looks like the leaf now. So that's the leaf-like prothallus. Leaf-like thallus is present in the prothallus. That is called as the prothallus, having an apical notch. And completely this is filled with the chlorophyllous parenchymatous tissue. And now it is covered externally from the outside with simple parenchymatous epidermis, simple parenchymatous epidermis, and the rest of the thallus, that is prothallus, the inside the prothallus is completely filled with the chlorophyllous tissue. So now before going to fill up this, we have to draw some other thing. That is nothing but the andrecium and the gynoecium we need to draw. Okay. And apart from that, it is having the rhizoids. So first of all, we will draw the andrecium. See how I am drawing. Like that only you need to draw in the exam also. Now comes the rhizoids, hair-like structures which helps out in fixing the prothallus to the soil surface. Otherwise, it which will makes the prothallus to float on the water surface. The water is not very deep, okay, which is just like after the rain, once the water is present on the grass, it floats now. Water will be just like presence will be there. Okay, like that, once the water logged areas only, this prothallus can start its occurrence. So there is not much more deeper, but the rhizoids will help out in absorption of water and a little bit attachment to the soil molecules. That's it. Now comes with the andrecium. This andrecium was over. Now we have to draw the gynoecium. So in the gynoecium, can you see the dot in this? Okay. Now it needs to be filled up with chlorophyllous tissue. And this chlorophyllous tissue is a completely hexagonal and arranged without intercellular spaces. Easy to draw this, but some people will say that it's too hectic. But see, only the hexagonal benzene-like structures you need to draw and need to be filled up like this. Easy, na? So now we have to start giving the labeling. So the labeling I'm giving here, this is the apical notch. Apical notch. Okay. Now these are the archegonia. Okay. These are antheridia. Antheridia. And these are rhizoids. Okay. And this is chlorophyllous parenchymatous tissue. Okay. Only this much you need to write. Now start explaining the prothallus as it is in the theory. So prothallus is through the prothallus, why this prothallus is present in the pteridophytic life cycle? To produce the male gametes and female gametes. That means the sexual reproduction occurs in this prothallus. If a prothallus is not formed, then the sexual reproduction cannot be seen in the pteridophytic plants, especially the pteris. What we'll say, the pteris is the best example for the pteridophytic plants. What we are learning now, here P silent, pteris. Okay, so in this, what we have to write, the prothallus is a gametophytic plant body that occurs for doing the sexual reproduction in the pteridophytes. Example, pteris. That's the first sentence what we have to write over here. Now comes the second one. What this prothallus is a monoecious in nature. Monoecious means both the sex organs are present on the same thallus. Okay, if one thallus is having both male and female sex organs on it, that is called as a monoecious. One thallus, both sex organs are present, monoecious. That is the antheridia and archegonia. So we are saying prothallus is monoecious in nature, producing, having the male sex organs and the female sex organs on it. Now comes the next one. No need of writing the heterosporous pteridophytes produce dioecious prothallus. No need now, because here we are talking about the prothallus. Prothallus is having this one. And this prothallus is, now we have to directly say the points of the prothallus. Prothallus is leaf-like, cushion-like structure, green in color, leaf-like, comma, cushion-like, comma, okay, and a thallus-like structure that is produced by the spores after the asexual reproduction. And on this, in this is having the dorsiventral structures. Dorsal structure, ventral structure. It floats on the water surface like this. So the rhizoids are present over here on the ventral surface, and on the dorsal surface, it is having the only the plain surface. Okay, so the prothallus is having the dorsiventral structures, and it is having the completely, the prothallus is filled up with the chlorenchymatous tissue. Okay, chlorenchymatous tissue. That is autotrophic in nature. Okay, now this is completely covered externally with a single layered epidermis. Single layered epidermis. This is epidermis. And this epidermis is having a small opening at the apical side, that is at one portion, that is called as the apical notch. Okay, and below the apical notch, on the prothallus, on the ventral surface, finger-like outgrowths can be seen. Finger-like outgrowths. So see how they are present, finger-like outgrowths. So these finger-like outgrowths are nothing but the archegonia, female reproductive parts in the prothallus of the pteridophytes. And at the bottom, that is on the where the rhizoids are seen for the prothallus, at the base of the rhizoids, antheridia are going to be seen. Okay, at the base of the rhizoids, antheridia are going to be seen. And the rhizoids are the root-like structures which helps out in absorption of the water and fixing the prothallus on the soil. That means only a limited depth will be present now. So it makes the easy movement, as well as sometimes it holds the prothallus to fix to the soil surface. That's it. So these are the rhizoids. Like this, if you explain, then it was over. Okay. So all these sex organs and the rhizoids are visible on the ventral surface, not on the dorsal surface. That much. If you have written this, it's enough for the question and the answer. No need to write any other thing. Everything what I said in a simple manner, and you have to draw this diagram so that you won't go out of this concept. The diagram makes us to be there in the concept. If you are not drawing the diagram, then you will write unnecessary points. If you draw the diagram, based on the diagram, only the points we will be making ourselves to write like that the answer. So diagram helps us to be there in the concept now. So that's the one we have to draw the diagram for explaining the prothallus part in the pteridophytic plants. Now comes with the last question, that is the draw labeled diagrams of female thallus and male thallus of liver rods. Okay, and gametophyte and the sporophyte of funaria. Here we need to draw 3 diagrams. Okay, question is 2 diagrams, but diagrams part we have to draw 3 because the male thallus and the female thallus of liver rods are different. So we need to draw the different diagrams. If you cannot able to draw like the simple way, now I am showing for the female thallus and male thallus of liver rot. First of all, we'll go with the female thallus of liver rot. Liver rot, example, Markantia. Give the plant name over here. Markantia. Now we will go with drawing the diagram. So Markantia is having the liver-like structure. In the word only we are saying the liver rot means liver-like structure. Easy. And from here, if you draw like this, that also very easy. Now comes the rhizoids. Done. Now comes the antheridia. Okay. Start drawing from here. A stalk-like structure for the antheridia. After that, we have to draw a flower-like structure. That's it. That is the archegonia. Okay. So now come for the labeling part. For labeling part again, before going to give the labeling, on the midrib, draw the cup-like structure. See how I am drawing. I am drawing a half moon and this. It's just like a cup, teacup. How we will draw the teacup? We are not good artists. I'm not saying that everyone can able to draw the diagram as per the reader or the material. I don't want that much. But we can draw the flower pot like this now. So instead of this, draw like this oval and draw a cup. Enough. This much is enough. That is the gemme cups, what we are saying. Okay. Those gemme cups, while seeing, it will be like this. How the two fingers are looking. Okay. This is the cup-like mouth. Okay. Imagine. And this is the gemme cup. That in the bottom part is completely immersed in the thallus. And only the upper part is visible for us. But we cannot say only upper part is visible in the diagram. Na? So we are drawing it as the cup-like structure on the midrib. That's it. Draw like this cup-like structures, 1 or 2, done. Simple diagram. And here the labeling, it should be complete. Complete labeling. We cannot make sure that they know this diagram also. Then why you are drawing this, isn't it? So we have to give the complete labeling. In that, no compromise. Sorry to say. So here, the start with this. These are the archegonia. Archegonia. Okay. Then the stalk of this archegonia is called as archegoniophore. Archegoniophore. Okay. Now, this is the completely Markantia thallus. So we need to give the labeling for the thallus. How can we forget the thallus labeling? After that, these are the gemme cups. We are saying now, these are the gemme cups. And gemme cups are present on which part of the thallus? Midrib. So give the labeling as midrib. And what are these root-like structures, brown colored ones? Rhizoids. Okay, so like this, once we have given the labeling and the drawing, then perfect. If one diagram, we have given the diagram and the labeling part, and for the next one also, we can draw the one more diagram, that is the antheridio 4 over here. Commonly, we can give the labeling also. Common labeling also is you can do it. There is no such thing that you should not give the common labeling in this diagram, because 4 marks, no one will give you like that only the 4 marks, isn't it? So once they won't give us the 4 marks as it is, that means we should give the complete labeling over here. Just like in this diagram, how they have shown. See, they have not given the labeling for the thallus and archegoniophore, they said. And archegoniophore means we can give this one as the archegonia. That's the mandatory labeling now, isn't it? If I am saying these are the fingers, then what is this? This is not a leg. This is the hand, isn't it? And this is the palm. We have to give the complete labeling of this part like that only here also. These are the archegonia. If we are saying that, why should I? Then they will say that, why should I give marks? If you are having the arrogance, even those people will be having the arrogance now. Don't show arrogance over here. Whatever is there, that should be at home in front of your parents, not when you are drawing the diagram, otherwise writing the answer. Here, just like behave like a obedient student who wants to have the good score to show to everyone, and we should have the confidence on ourselves also. Once we got a good score, yes, we are having the subject in our grip. If not, only we won't get the marks. If we are having the subject in our grip, bindas will get full score. Okay, this is the archegoniophore. That's the one I have shown over here, complete labeling part. Okay, don't think that this is the extra one, not the extra, same thing. Now comes with the antherideo, okay, male thallus. Now I am erasing the female thallus, the spelling, and making it as male thallus, but you should not do in the examinations, okay? Because one student asked me like that only. Whenever I will do like this, cut short the female thallus I have done first, and after that, whenever I'm doing the male thallus, I used to rub the FE, okay, those 2 letters, and I'll say, now I'm drawing the male thallus. Even one of my students did the same mistake. They rubbed the same diagram in the heading of the diagram, female, and they have struck off the FE and started with the same diagram and strike off that, rub the same diagram and started going with the male thallus. Then how can they see the female thallus again? It's not possible now. Here I can do it, but you should draw separately. Okay, I'm just making it everything clear. Don't say that ma'am did like that and even we are doing. Now I don't want to go with much more headaches. So now the male thallus. Male thallus, again the same liver-like occurrence and having the midrib, and midrib is a branch. Okay, now this is having the male thallus, that is antheridea it will be having. So the meristematic cells that are present on the thallus at the midrib, it starts producing a elongated stalk-like structure called as the antheridiophore, having the antheridea like this. Okay, and the gemmae-cups are present on the midrib. Draw the gemmae-cups. Now see, maximum that is having the same parts now, rhizoids, thallus, midrib, and the gemmecups. These are common for the male thallus and the female thallus. Now comes with the labeling. For labeling, this is the wait. This is the antheridia. And this is antheridiophore. That is the stalk of the antheridia is called as antheridiophore. This is thallus. These are gemmecups. Okay, these are rhizoids. Now comes this is midrib. So we have given all the labelings. Done. Simple diagram. Yes. Like this, we have to draw the male and the female thallus of the liver rods. Now comes the gametophyte and the sporophyte of funaria. In this funaria, there is a small mistake in the diagram. The funaria is having one single branch for the aerial part of the plant body. That is it is having female branch for it. So that you have to show there is no chance of skipping out the branch in the funaria. Okay. So the heading is gametophyte and sporophyte of funaria. So if I write the heading, then I cannot able to draw the diagram and give the labeling part. Okay. Now we are going with this one, gametophyte and sporophyte of funaria. Now, so see how I am drawing. If this is the base, that is the soil, then this is the stem having one branch, okay, and rhizoids. And now comes the seta capsule. See, the capsule should have a joker cap-like structure. That is the beauty of a funaria. We should not spoil the beauty of funaria. Okay. Now comes the one what we have to draw the leaves. Like this. And you can see in the diagram the midrib-like structure. It's not the midrib because the funaria plant belongs to the division Bryophyta, where vascular system is not at all developed. No vascular system. Non-vascular cryptogams are the bryophytes. Okay, so here we cannot say the midrib is present, a prominent midrib. Xylem and phloem are not at all seen in the last class of this division, where the midrib-like occurrence, that is also only phloem develops, not the xylem for transporting the water. So midrib is not at all seen. So the leaves are called as the phyllodes. So it's not a leaves. What we can say is a leaf is not the word over there. Here the leaves are looks like the leaf-like structures, phyllodes. So here for this diagram, we have to divide the portions. Okay. See, this is one part and this is another part of the plant body for the funaria. So the first one is the gametophyte from the bottom and this is the sporophyte. Sporophyte and this is gametophyte. Gametophyte. Okay. So if you are getting confusion in writing the gametophyte and the sporophyte, we can say what is this part? This is a capsule for the funaria. Okay. So when we know the labeling for this as the capsule, then what's there in the capsule? In the capsule, spores are present. Okay, when the spores are present in the capsule, what we have to say, this part is the sporophyte. Spore producing part is called as the sporophyte. Easy to remember. So this part is called as the sporophyte. And the bottom part is called as the gametophyte. That's in the question only the another word is there where the male gametes and the female gametes are going to be produced. That's the one. Okay, so we can say this part is the gametophyte, this part is the sporophyte. That's it. Now, this is the capsule and the stalk of the capsule is called as the seta. And this is the male branch. This is female branch. This is the stem. Here, leaf-like structures. Write it as leaf-like structures. These are root-like structures called as rhizoids. Done. Finished. So we have to write all this labeling, and in this, the branch, the stem, which is attached to the seta is called as the female branch. And another branch is called as the male branch. Okay. And these are the root-like structures, rhizoids. Here a small portion called as stem, leaf-like structures, seta, capsule, sporophyte, gametophyte. Done. If we have written like this, we can say that all the diagram and the labeling is perfect and we can score full 4 out of 4 in this question. This is the easiest one. We can say now we can expect this question from this chapter. But when I am saying this much, don't learn only this answer. Other answers also we have to learn. But concentrate on the questions, what I am saying, most important ones. Okay. So with this, we have finished the first unit, all the SAQs from the first, second, and the fourth chapter, where we will get 2 SAQs in the exam. Okay, so that we can easily go with the 2 SAQs from these 3 chapters, and we have finished the 13th chapter, 12th chapter SAQs. So it's easy. That means 1, 2, 3, 4 SAQs we have finished till now. In this 4 SAQs, again we have finished the 4 VSAQs. Otherwise, 3 VSAQs, 4 4s are 16, plus 6. 16 plus 6, 22. Here only you will pass. And one LAQ we have already learned. That is the 5th chapter. And if you are learning the 7th chapter LAQ also, that's the best one to score 60 marks. Okay. So 12 marks, 16 marks over there, and here 22. That means total 38 marks, first class marks. So no need to worry for you people, isn't it? So like this. And tomorrow we will see the next chapter, that is the 6th chapter SAQs, how to write and how to draw the diagrams if those are there. Okay, and how to remember the concepts also for that. So stay tuned to the same channel, same time for going with the 6th chapter SAQs for tomorrow, right? Thank you.